maybe that following weekend was AAW, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. It was really close afterwards. And I ran into Elgin again. Same thing you would say is, hey man, like why don't you come to a Ring of Honor and blah blah blah. And I was like, actually, man, I was like, I kind of just had this falling out with Gabe, and I'm pretty sure he's never gonna book me again. I said, so yeah, man, if you want to like put my name out there, I'd more than appreciate it. And then it happened that maybe 2 weeks later, Ring of Honor
Mm-hmm.
was going to be in Milwaukee for the first time in years. So I ended up getting booked. Elgin helped me get booked. I think I worked Elgin on that show, and then they might even announced it beforehand or something. And then I got a nasty message from Gabe, like something along the lines of like, "You motherfucker, you fucked me," or whatever the message was. Basically, like he thought that like I like made up this whole story about the flight thing because I wanted to go work for Ring of Honor. When the fact is, it was everything I said was the truth. It was
Mm-hmm.
just shitty timing.
Yeah. So, so you get into Ring of Honor, and then how was that experience? How is that like? Because Ring of Honor, back then, it was you couldn't really talk when we were back there. You couldn't mention Ring of Honor, like it was either Evolve or Ring of Honor. So I missed
Right,
out. I
right.
feel like I wouldn't even watch that because it was like the competition, and then
Oh yeah, it was like the enemy, right?
yeah,
Can't be fraternizing with the enemy.
yeah,
It was cool, man. Like honestly, like I love wrestling. Like I'm not like one of these people who like has heat with a bunch of people. As a matter of fact, like there's probably not anybody in wrestling that I hate. Like I just
hmm
think it's super juvenile, and dumb when people are like that. But like I loved working there. Like it
hmm
was like honestly like the best time of my career. So I remember I'm pretty sure I worked Elgin there. That was in Milwaukee. I want to say that was, I don't know if that was 2011, 2012, but pretty quick after that, um, I talked to Delirious and it was like, hey man, like I love it, like I would love to do more. So then they booked me for the Top Prospect tournament, which would have been like in January of that next year. So it was probably just a couple months later. Um, and at the time, like I really started doing the Last Real Man stuff
hmm
with Gabe at Evolve, but it was kind of like I was literally just scratching the surface with
yeah,
it. And I remember thinking going into the Top Prospect tournament, like, hey man, like you're coming to Ring of Honor and just like Evolve, it's all just a bunch of uber talented people, right?
hmm
And I was like, so maybe what you need to do is maybe you really need to lead into this Last Real Man thing because you look at wrestling nowadays. There's not a whole lot of characters. Like a lot of
mm
guys are like just really good wrestlers with a first name and a last name. So I knew I needed something to stand out a little bit. So I really went full throttle on the Last Real Man character, so to speak. And I think that's really kind of what helped me. Not just with the Top Prospect tournament, then to actually get it to turn into a full time gig.
hmm Is there any particular moments that stand out from Ring of Honor? Because I do remember you just started the Last Real Man before you went. Like it was fresh, it was new. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of great moments. Like, man, I made a lot of good friends there. Had a lot of really cool travel experiences. But like, as far as like match stuff that I really think really stood out was during the Top Prospect tournament. Me and Adam Page had a match with each other. And it might have been the first round. I'm not real sure. To be honest with you, I don't even remember how far I went in that tournament. I think I might have had two matches. And I remember asking like, hey, what do you want out of this match or whatever. They're like, just go out there. Me and Adam ended up having like a killer match, like doing some crazy shit we probably both never really do in our matches. Ended up really turning out really good, and I think it was like one of those matches where, it helped really get eyes on both of us.
hmm
So there was that match. Obviously, the stuff with Dalton Castle. Like,
hmm
as a matter of fact, I think anytime wrestling fans, come up to me and talk to me and talk about Ring of Honor, it's like almost 95% of the time they're like, "Man, I love the stuff you did with Dalton Castle." So like that whole run with Dalton Castle, the promos to trying to make the boys into men, the matches, it was all super memorable.
hmm
That was good times. Obviously, being able to go to Japan with New Japan and Ring of Honor crossover shows. That was really cool. The Madison Square Garden was great. Winning the television title a couple times, especially being able to have those matches with Kenny King,
hmm
uh, was really cool. Kenny's probably one of my better friends in the professional wrestling business. So when you get to you know, win a championship or have a moment like that with someone who's like your good friend, that's the best, you know.
Hmm.